The sirens wailed through the valley, slicing the crisp evening air like a knife. I stood on the porch of my cedar cabin, watching two police cruisers kick up dust on the winding road. My heart pounded not from fear, but from fury. Karen Vanderbilt, the new neighbor who'd moved into the gated mansion up the hill, had called the cops on me. Her complaint? My unsightly cabin was lowering property values. The audacity burned. This wasn't just my home. This was my land, my valley, my legacy. And Karen had no idea who she was messing with. 6 months ago, Karen swept into Willow Valley like a hurricane in heels. She'd bought the old Henderson estate, a sprawling property that screamed new money and immediately made enemies. Her first week, she berated old Mr. Jenkins for letting his dog trespass on her lawn. The next, she demanded the community garden be relocated because it clashed with her aesthetic. Karen was the kind of woman who wore sunglasses indoors and spoke in a tone that dripped with condescension. She'd look at you like you were gum on her Louboutins, and I'd had enough. But this, calling the cops on my cabin because it didn't fit her vision of a perfect valley, that was war. I'd inherited Willow Valley from my grandfather, a man who'd spent his life preserving its wild beauty. Every acre, every tree, every stream was under my name, along with the HOA rights that govern the community. Karen didn't know that. She thought I was just some scruffy recluse in a flannel shirt, living in a cabin that offended her delicate sensibilities. She learned soon enough. As the police pulled up, Karen strutted down the hill, her fur coat glinting under the fading sun. "Officers," she called, voice sharp enough to cut glass. "This man's property is a disgrace. It's practically a shack, and it's ruining the neighborhood." She pointed at my cabin, her manicured nails gleaming. The officers, a seasoned veteran named Officer Daniels and a younger rookie, exchanged a glance. I could tell they'd dealt with her type before. "Ma'am, we'll need to speak with the property owner," Daniels said, nodding toward me. Karen smirked, clearly expecting me to crumble. I didn't. Instead, I stepped forward, my boots crunching on the gravel. "Officers, I'm Elias Kane, owner of this cabin and the entire valley, including the HOA." Karen's smirk froze. "If anyone's causing a disturbance, it's her. Check the security footage from last night. You'll see what she did." Karen's eyes widened, but she recovered quickly, tossing her hair. "Security footage? Please, you're bluffing. This hovel doesn't even have electricity, does it?" The officers ignored her, turning to me. I handed Daniels a USB drive, my jaw tight. "It's all there." The truth unraveled faster than Karen's composure. The night before, under the cover of darkness, Karen had snuck onto my property. My trail cameras installed to monitor wildlife caught everything. She'd torn down my hand-built birdhouses, spray-painted eyesore on my firewood stack, and slashed my camping gear. She'd even uprooted my wildflower garden, the one I'd planted in memory of my grandfather. All because she thought my cabin was beneath her vision for the valley. The footage was damning. Karen, in her designer tracksuit, wielding a can of spray paint like a weapon, her face twisted with spite. But there was a twist no one saw coming, not even me. As the officers reviewed the footage on their laptop, a figure emerged from the crowd of neighbors who'd gathered to watch the drama unfold. It was Mrs. Lila Henshaw, the valley's quiet, elderly librarian, who rarely left her cottage. She clutched a leather-bound journal, her hands trembling. "I have something to add," she said, her voice soft but firm. "Karen came to me last month, demanding I sign a petition to force Elias out. She said she'd pay me to lie about his cabin being a safety hazard. I recorded her." The crowd gasped. Lila, the least confrontational person in the valley, had secretly taped Karen's bribery attempt. She played the audio on her phone. Karen's voice, unmistakable, offering $5,000 to get rid of that hillbilly. The officers' faces hardened. Karen's bravado cracked, her lips parting in a silent gasp. The confrontation escalated under the valley's starlit sky. Daniels turned to Karen, his voice calm but unyielding. "Ma'am, vandalism and attempted bribery are serious offenses. We'll need you to come with us." Karen's face flushed crimson. "This is outrageous," she shrieked. "Do you know who I am? I'll have your badges." But the officers were unmoved. The rookie cuffed her, and the crowd murmured in satisfaction as Karen's designer heels stumbled on the dirt. Then came the moment of reckoning. As Karen was led to the cruiser, I stepped forward, holding up a document, the HOA bylaws, signed by my grandfather decades ago. "Karen, you violated the Valley's code of conduct," I said, my voice steady. "As HOA president, I'm issuing a formal notice. Your property rights are under review, and you're banned from community spaces until further notice." The crowd erupted in cheers. Karen's eyes burned with rage, but she was powerless. Her reign of terror was over. The next morning, the valley buzzed with a new energy. Neighbors gathered at my cabin, not to gawk, but to help. They replanted my wildflowers, rebuilt my birdhouses, and scrubbed the paint off my firewood. Lila brought her journal, revealing more of Karen's schemished, tried to bribe half the valley to support her vision. But the valley fought back, united by a shared love for the land and a refusal to bow to entitlement. Karen's mansion went up for sale a week later. She couldn't handle the shame, the whispers, the knowledge that she'd lost to a hillbilly like me. The valley reclaimed its peace, and I stood on my porch, watching the sunrise paint the hills gold. My grandfather's legacy was safe, and I'd learned something profound. No amount of money or arrogance can break a community that stands together. This story isn't just about Karen's downfall, it's about the power of truth and unity. What do you think? Was Karen's punishment fair, or should the valley have shown her mercy? Share your thoughts, because every voice matters in the fight for what's right.